There's no point, no point to live on. I feel it in my blood, I feel it in my veins. I feel it in my head, I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my blood, I feel it in my veins. I feel it in my head, I feel it in my heart.
What's up, everybody? Did we lose music? Somebody say we lost music? That's crazy talk. I must have stopped putting quarters in the jukebox. Dang it. Kirsten, what'd you
No,
do? You messed
you
it up,
weren't losing
Kirsten.
You didn't lose it.
Who still uses jukebox, by the way? I don't know. I don't know anybody uses jukeboxes anymore, but good Lord. How's everybody doing? Oh my gosh, look at all these
Excellent.
smiling faces. You thought maybe Elvis is coming on the call today. I think Elvis might be in the building, as they say, right? What?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at all these smiling faces. Hi, Cindy. Hey, Jill. Maxwell Seeley in there. BDUs, buddy. I like it. This guy shows up. This guy shows up. I love it. Cindy Signo. What's up, my dear? Greg. Carissa.
Morning,
Hey,
Chris.
smiling faces. Morning, 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 everybody. And I know I could see some of your guys' faces earlier it popped on. Hi, sweet. Oh, I can't say sweet cakes on. That's wrong to say. Hi, babe. That's wrong to say sweet cakes.
Hi,
but
baby.
Hi, babe. Sorry to say I can't say sweet cakes, but I was talking about my dessert. Oh, all right. So yeah, I see some of your smiling faces on here earlier than your cameras went off. Come on, you put those things back on so we can see your pearly whites. What's up, Kelly Furler? Kelly's driving and has her camera on. Props to you, my dear. You and Kirsten are always eating, by the way. I love it. Kirsten, I was watching you eat your bagel earlier. You go, girl. You go with your bad self. Not even mad at that. I'm actually missed my breakfast this morning. I need some food. Starving.
You got to multitask in this business.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I have a struggle tying my shoes, drinking water, and getting dressed. That's a challenge for me. We're guys. Guys are challenged with that. Oh, well, it's Tuesday. The sun's out. Deceiving as it is, because even the sun's out, it's like 40 degrees, whatever. I know it's not that cold. You guys over in Michigan, Jill, you guys probably are at negative 3,000. You guys probably have a wind chill of like 48.
It's like 40 degrees.
Okay, so y'all in shorts and tank tops then. What am I talking about?
Right, I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's
yeah, the
midsummer
snow's
for us
melting.
right now. Come on, 40 degrees.
I'm not
The heat
even in a
wave.
real coat.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
dang, okay, you guys are ready to like take a break and get some sun. All right, all right, all right. My mistake. I overspoke too soon.
Now, last week it was freezing, Chris, so you were correct.
Okay, this week we're much better. All right.
Right.
So we're seeing there's a chance. There's a chance for some sun on the horizon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not all blessed to be in Hawaii, but we all have our significant places and locations to be in and are excited to be alive, number one. So tell me something good. All these great people that are popping in. You know, realtors are always timely on time. Gotta love that. That's a joke. But tell me something good. Come on. We got some exciting news. Other than the fact that we got the man, the myth, and the legend on the call today. That's some good freaking news. But something else. Come on. Somebody pop off something amazing.
Well, the mastermind in Maui was over the top.
Yes.
And it was really awesome to meet Dylan's new Maui team and all those people.
Oh, I love it.
And of course, the opportunity to ask questions to people who have had such incredible success and who clearly go giving and helping are the key cultural components of these people. I see so many people that they may still have real estate teams, and they sell a lot of real estate, but their focus of their life is to give back, and they all have different success stories. There was one guy who in 2020 had sold no real estate. He decided to launch a YouTube channel. And then 2 years later, he did over $1 million of business. And so he was one of the speakers, and pretty inspiring stories. I guess Brett has a way of finding those people. So I guess all I would say is if you ever have a chance to do that, I think they ought to move it to Kauai next year personally.
Hey,
but it sounds like they've already got it planned on Maui.
Yeah, I think some other reasons, but no, absolutely. And that segues into the Build Conference. If you guys have not attended a Brent Gove event yet, I would strongly suggest the Build 2023, July 10th through 12th, San Antonio, Texas this year. We're not doing Dallas. I'm kind of good with that. But we're saying the JW Marriott. I put the link in the Google Classroom for that as well. So definitely, Ronnie, thank you for sharing that, because in my mastermind, I've heard nothing but amazing things. I just talked to Rob this morning because Rob was in Hawaii this whole time, and Rob said it was an amazing event. So, but Brent's events are always great, and I think that's if you're in this wanting to be surrounded around this collaborativeness of what EXP really is about, you need to go join these events because he really puts on a good show. Awesome. Anybody else?
I don't know if he's in the classroom today or not, but I'd like to fill Ross's bucket from our team. And I mean, he's part of Mike's organization. He's not actually part of the Blake team.
Yeah.
I was kind of using the excuse of I don't have video editing software, and he eliminated that excuse for me. So he really is a great guy and a really inspirational friend to have. So I'd like to fill his bucket. So thank you, Ross, whether you're here or not. I
love it. Bad props to Ross. And he did shave his head, by the way, to match Dylan Nanaka. So I was going to say, now we have to say with a real Slim Shady, please stand up, because Dylan was the first runner-up of the hairdo, and now Ross is following close second. So whoever wants to raise their hand this year and shave off their hair, I might do it. I'm not losing it anyway, so I might as well go for it at this point. But yeah, Ross is an amazing guy. By the way, he is my new co-pilot in our weekly podcast. It's now Real Talk with Chris and Ross. That is every week on Wednesdays. We shoot those and throw them on our YouTube link as well. So we're always coming up with some great content. If you didn't hear last week's, jump on that. It's on the stream, on the YouTube. It was a great interview. Dang, Dylan, you're in your BDUs too. Oh, you're playing G.I. Joe today. I love it. All right, you and Maxwell are booted and suited and ready to go. Thank you for what you guys do for our country. We love you both, man. I appreciate you all, for real. No, all jokes aside. Cool. Anybody else want to throw off some tell me something good before we jump on to something even more amazing?
January was our biggest
Go ahead.
income for the month of our business of 18 years.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
January, we had our biggest month ever.
Dang. And they're talking about the real estate market is slow. I think it's for everybody else that's not EXP maybe. EXP is thriving like a thermostat. Y'all see our stock today? Thank you, Glenn, by the way. Y'all see our stock today? What happens when a guy comes back into the seat? Our stock goes to the roof. You got to love that. I'm excited. And I'm actually back in 2016 when it was like $1.98. It was like, wasn't even NASDAQ yet. And now we're seeing some big trends. So you guys hold on tight, pull your boots up because it's about to skyrocket. We're going to be NASA. So awesome. Congratulations, Linda. You guys are doing amazing over there. And that's even through a hurricane. Through a hurricane, you all survived and came out your best month ever. I love it. Well, congratulations. Who else? Somebody want to say something? Was that you, Ronnie?
Yeah, I wanted to just quickly say that I'm hosting this event. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you can shop. Go ahead, share it. There we go.
So we're having this workshop here on Kauai. It's a half-a-day training with Sean Kokoska, who I coach with. Sean built a lot of the coaching programs for Keller Williams. And he's been with our company for just about 3 years, and he's got close to 3,000 in his group. And he's got a lot of great things to say. So I want to encourage anybody in the islands that wants to have a day on Kauai. You can get in during the day, and Sean's going to cover a lot of stuff. And the $47 goes to support a nonprofit here on Kauai that sponsors children's after-school programs in elementary and middle school.
I love it. What a great cause. And thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Sean's amazing. Him and his mom did create a lot of the coaching staff for MAPS coaching for Keller Williams. Very iconic. and he has a lot of content. So yeah, if you're in the islands, jump over to Kauai and spend a day with Ronnie and Roan, and you guys can get some chocolate Koska. Awesome. Okay, real quick, moving on. This book of the month, I don't know if you guys saw that, Atomic Habits by
James Clear.
James Clear. That is our book of the month. Hopefully you guys had the last month's The Branding Story by Donald Williamson. That's a great book. If you didn't read that, you really need to read that. It really strikes your marketing, understands your clientele better. It really, if you're marketing your business right now, you need to read The Branding Story. That book will change everything you're doing right now, and you re-strategize your whole entire marketing for your business this year. Got to read that book. But Atomic Habits is our book this month, so happy reading for February. I posted the link for it on Amazon in the stream, so if you don't have it, go and click on it, purchase the book, you can have it, and it's great to keep on your shelf as a continuous reader. This is my second time reading Atomic Habits, and I feel like it's gonna be even better now that I'm a different place in my life right now. So awesome. Lona Lugers, is that your beautiful face there, my dear? Hello. Mr. Lugers. Welcome back. Good to see you guys. We miss you so much. I'm glad you're back here, and you guys are back on track and seeing you guys on social media. So I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you. You and Doug both. Love you both. All right.
Baby, can I say something?
Yes, absolutely. Jump in.
Okay. Hi. I just wanted to fill Chris's cup this morning. I just wanted, because he never does. He never gets to. He does everybody else, but he works tired. That's not coffee. That's water, babe. He works 7 days a week, 5 a.m., 9 p.m. till 10 p.m., whatever the time, creating this wonderful environment and community for you guys and supporting you. So I just want to say, put that out there and fill his cup every now and then.
Thank you guys. Now, hey, this is a joint effort, you know, and it's a beautiful, I mean, look at all these people in here. I know I want to say it's about me, but I say it's about Glenn, to be honest. But the reality is we all would not be here without Glenn, and a lot of stuff has happened. So yes, you guys are amazing. I love everybody, each and everybody on this call. I feel like you guys are my children, even though a lot of you guys are probably older than me or seasoned more than me, but I love you guys to the bottom of my heart, man, I really do. So there's a lot of good things coming out, by the way. We are just going to be brewing for 2023. Like, I'm working on things right now. That's why I was out in Puerto Rico for 2 days. We are going to build some stuff out right now that's going to be serious value pack, like TNT for Team Freedom. So get excited. It's going to be some big things coming out this year. That being said, thank you, babe, by the way. We're going to move on real quick. And I just saw Shireen Duncan. Shireen, my sweetie, how are you? Good to see you on this call. Love you, my dear. Good to see you. So Carl Lewis, our mortgage guy, actually did some snowboarding today, but he did shoot a video to give us an update. So I'm going to share a screen clip real quick here of Carl. Hopefully you guys can all see this, to give us an update on what's going on in the mortgage world real quick here. And then let me know and shout out if you guys don't see this here. All right. All right. Do y'all see that? I'm going to play it.
No audio.
No volume, Chris.
I just wanted to give you a
How
quick
about
update via video of the market. So we had a pretty wild ride last week. A lot of news came out. We had the Fed that met. They increased the short-term rate by 0.25%. So the Fed funds rate increase was only 0.25%. That was what was expected. So we didn't see a huge movement in the market because of that. But we did see the market improved quite a bit, because when Jerome Powell, who's the chair of the Federal Reserve, he acknowledged that inflation is starting to cool off. And that's the big thing, right? That's what we talk about a lot, is that inflation is something that's really driving interest rates. And the more inflation comes down, the more that we'll see interest rates come down. And that's the reason why we're selling interest rates come up, because of inflation. The other thing that came out on Friday, we had a non-farms payroll report, which is the quote jobs report. And that came out not so good. Came out actually a lot better than
Chris, can you go on mute? We're hearing your echo.
New jobs, which is good in terms of our economy, but not so good when it comes to interest rates. So they projected 185,000 new jobs were going to get added, and there was 517,000 that were added based on that report. Now, that's such a huge variance that does kind of put that into question a little bit. How are they calculating these numbers? Is that really accurate? We don't think it's very accurate to have that big of a variance. And I don't think the bond market really thought that either. We did see rates get a little bit worse on Friday, but considering that giant gap of what was expected and what actually happened in terms of job creation, would have thought the bond market would have reacted a lot more negatively than it did. So yeah, just, be encouraged. We are seeing a lot of multiple offers on properties, even with where interest rates are at today. So we believe that as interest rates come down and we get to that kind of 5% conventional rate that we think we're going to find, I think that we're going to see the market is very strong. And hopefully we'll have sellers that'll be willing to, get off the fence and sell their home. We'll get a little more inventory. So anyway, that's all I got for today, you guys. Again, missing you. Hopefully you have a great meeting. I know Chris always brings the best speakers. So yeah, looking forward to watching the recording. And if you have any questions, feel free to call, text, email me anytime. And looking forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. So hopefully that worked. Give me 1 second here. Got people still trying to come in. Ooh, all right. Stop saying. Cool. Did you guys get to hear that, by the way? I don't know. It's kind of my first time doing the video, but it worked. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So moving forward, we have, I would say in 2016, when I got into EXP, it was obviously a lot different place than we are right now with 80, 90,000 agents. And we are, I think, just barely cracking 2,000 at the time, which was a remarkable state because the beautiful part was that we were just really, really growing. But even better was that we got to sit and hang out with people like Glenn Sanford, Jason Gessing. There's a lot of different other people that were in with Vicky Bartholomew that was there for a while in the beginning too. There's a lot of people that kind of came and helped build EXP to where it's at. But you get to find out how real people really are. And one thing I really love about EXP that I've never been able to experience, even at Keller Williams for years, is I never really got to sit and hang out with Gary Keller. It was never going to happen, honestly. But I spent lots of time with Glenn. Glenn's flew out to Hawaii and did events out there for us in Hawaii back right before COVID. Remember that, Glenn? It was amazing. Him and Debbie both. They came out, spoke. And Glenn's just such an amazing, amazing individual. He's got such, his mind is always moving. And I love that because, he's thinking about amazing things that he's going to build and bring to here. And he's already proven it already since 2016. But he's just also a very humble individual who will sit there and answer the phone, give you a call and talk to you like you're a normal person. Very rare will you ever find somebody like that. So without further ado, we're all here for you, Glenn. We're excited to see what you've built. Obviously, we're all kind of true testaments to that, but maybe kind of giving us some foresight of what the future holds for us at EXP. And we're all really, really excited. Everybody was pumped, by the way, Glenn. And I've only run across one person so far, just being full transparent. It was like, who's Glenn Sanford? I'm like, are you kidding me right now? You know who Glenn Sanford is? Like the guy who started this whole thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Anyways, but everybody else in this whole entire world knows you, Glenn. But anyways, without further ado, Glenn, take it away.
Awesome. And Chris, great to see you. Great to see everyone here. Good room. We got 73 people on, so a great group. By the way, so I was at the Maui Mastermind last week, so I got a chance to sit with Dylan briefly and have a little bit of a conversation. We actually talked about how we can make Hawaii better, and had a good conversation with some other people in the organization. Specifically around Hawaii. And then we were scheduled to leave on Sunday, but if you look at the weather in the Pacific Northwest, it's rainy and cold. So we moved over to Oahu. So we're over at the west end over here in Waikiki. So we're actually here till Friday this week. So just enjoying Hawaii a little bit longer, and just steps away from the Blue Note where the event was back in 2020, I think, right at the beginning of COVID.
Literally right before
February.
COVID. Yeah, it was literally right COVID, and then all of a sudden after your event, boom, lockdown. Everybody was stay home in place. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Glenn,
yeah, it
could
was.
you make yourself full screen?
You got to do it
Make yourself full screen.
Click on Glenn's picture, and there's like a little pin. If you want Glenn full screen, hit the little pin on Glenn's picture, and that'll make him bigger.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know how to make myself full screen, so you guys got to do it on your own there. So, so a lot of really interesting things have taken place specifically around Hawaii, just in the last couple weeks. So we, we've been one thing that we did was we got an exclusive specifically for Hawaii that realty.com, and some agents are on that. I think maybe even some here. I've been working on how do we get more and more exclusives for EXP, but one of them was that even though they're open to the larger real estate community in Hawaii, you can only get realty.com leads if you're with EXP. So it's kind of a cool thing that we were able to do on that. And we're working on a number of really cool initiatives that'll kick out by shareholders or some lead gen stuff that's going to be really cool for agents here. But Chris, maybe if you've got specific questions or things that you want me to sort of talk to, I mean, obviously, all but one of you knew who I was before I got here.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, for sure. We can talk about a couple of things. I mean, I know one of the things I actually was question I asked them the other day. I like the fact that we're pairing up a lot of stuff and partnering with a lot of people because I think this makes EXP so much stronger, which we can see ourselves kind of unite there. The realty.com thing, I'm not real familiar with that. I don't know if a lot of people are. Maybe the people aren't. I understand a little bit more on what that really means for us here at EXP. Like, what kind of tool or power does that give us, arsenal-wise, for our business and recruiting?
Yeah, so one things that I, by the way, most agents, realty.com is not going to make a whole bunch of sense for. That's fairly expensive, and if you're, me personally, I would do my own lead gen, and I didn't use a lot of third parties, but it's a up and coming portal. The CEO actually has joined as an EXP agent, and in my, the way I look at it is if we can create some point of differentiation between EXP and other brands, then it's always a good thing. So when we go out on a listing presentation or we're talking to someone, if we can say, hey, and by the way, that we'll also have an exclusive for promoting listings on realty.com, even if the consumer doesn't quite know what that means, just the fact that we can say it, creates an element of, potentially winning that listing, etc. So that's the way I kind of look at it. It's an arrow for the quiver that you can use, and even if you're not actively, buying leads from the platform, you can, say, hey, we're EXP Realty is exclusive for realty.com. Which is just another way that we're able to generate leads or generate consumer traffic to your property. Obviously, we're in the MLS. You can, we've got agents that are Zillow, whatever. But having anything that's, we can say, exclusive, I think it makes it a pretty cool tool, and an agent attraction too. If you're growing your rev share organizations, you can then say, hey, EXP Realty's got an exclusive with this. And it, again, it's just another point of differentiation. So, as salespeople, we find, 3 or 4 or 5 things that are really hot buttons that we believe in, that then transfers in our conversations with either consumers or other agents. And if those are the things we believe in, then that comes across, which makes it, whatever it is that we're doing at that point, more, we'll get more activity. So it's a national portal. Type of arrangement's been around for about 7 years, and they're finally getting to the point where it's actually turning into something that's pretty meaningful. Folks like Veronica Figueroa, Kyle Whistle, let's see, I talked to another Adam Bailey. I talked to a number of agents that are doing really well with it on the mainland, and so it's just another tool. But I'm working on a few different things on that. I'd love to, even from this group, especially given that you're concentrated in Hawaii, things that we can do to make Hawaii EXP even better. I've been involved in the Icon group here the last week or so, really digging in. We're doing some things to make the Icon Cultural Awards more easier to achieve. We're working on some things on, making it easier to achieve Icon. Even though, ironically, we're actually overheating, meaning that we're actually well above the target of 2 to 3% of our agents hitting Icon. We're really between 4 and 6%, which means that from just an expense standpoint, it's costing us more money than our original models. But we also know that icons influence the larger agent base. So we want to make sure that we attract, the top agents to EXP, and figure out, how do we get them into your revenue share group? How do we support them and also you to achieve icons if that's something that you're trying to achieve. So those are some high level things.
Awesome. So everybody on this call, you have a chance to sit here and ask the guy who started this whole entire thing that you're now investing in. This is shoot the question now. This is full game. So Glenn is target. Go for it. Ronnie, your hand
Hi,
up.
Glenn, and aloha. Luxury is a big part of our market here. Strangely enough, I don't know if you're thinking of moving here, but we have 38 billionaires on Kauai. And I know we launched the luxury thing. I couldn't get into the session back at EXPCon, but what can we do to kind of accelerate? What's your vision, kind of the trajectory roadmap of how we build our luxury brand?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So we launched at EXPCon with LuxVT. We have, I forget what the number of agents, a couple thousand agents that actually jumped on it. One of the things that so that was only in October, so November, December, January. So we're talking 3.5 months ago. What we have now is it's actually a fairly, we'll call it a high margin business for EXP Realty itself, meaning that we've got a number of, it actually has some good monies in the program. And now what we want to do is we actually want to take that money and actually now enhance the luxury agent business. So one of the things that we did initially is there was a certain cap on number of properties that could run through LuxVT at any given time. We've taken the cap off. So meaning that you don't have to pay extra for once you hit a cap. So that was the first thing that we've done. And then the other thing we need to figure out is how do we redirect some of those monies to help, in addition to the tools that LuxVT already provides. What is it that we can do to really put that on a sort of rocket fuel, so to speak. So I basically told the team, we don't need the money from the sign up. It is good because it does help us, give us some more monies to work with, but we should be figuring out ways to reinvest that to help those on the luxury side actually go win more listings, do better marketing, and ultimately build a great reputation. So that's kind of the path we're on. A lot of this is fairly in flux because we didn't know how much uptake there was going to be on the luxury side. And now that we're seeing it, we want to sort of take those monies and put it back into the field.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the question, Ronnie. Anybody else? Batters up. Come on. Cindy, go for it.
Hi. So I have somebody that's wanting to come on in the commercial area, but she says she manages some of her commercial properties and she makes about $125,000 a year doing that. So she's not going to give that up. And on Maui, I heard you say that you're going to start property management. So I'm just wondering, can she fit into that slot with commercial real estate and management?
Yeah, so yes, it's really a timing thing. So it's I've got Jim Wong's got to roll out the commercial program, how it's going to work and how it's going to play out. It's more focused on residential property management in the early stage, at least mentally. That's the way I was thinking about it. I know there's the commercial property management's another piece which would naturally fit under commercial automatically.
Right.
And I think that Jim Wong was already thinking about commercial property management because that's actually a big part of commercial is property management, tenant rep, and all of that. So I'm not sure where Jim is on that, but I know that that's part of the future plan. So it's probably not a case of having it today, but 3 months from now, 6 months from now, might be a good time to revisit that conversation with that agent, because we may be in a good to start to address that.
Great. Thanks.
Awesome, Cindy. All right, Sasha Thompson, raise your hand, and Jacqueline. Who wants to go first? Go for it, Jacqueline.
Oh, I was taking mine down so Sasha could go.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, go ahead. Jump in.
So my question is related to blockchain. We see that there's companies like Proppy that are out there and starting to put transactions on the Ethereum network. Is there any type of plan for EXP to create our own blockchain or to link up with someone so that we aren't reliant on a company like Proppy that, frankly, whenever I met the representatives, didn't give me a lot of hope?
Yeah. So one, it's so it's interesting that Proppy and others are playing with blockchain in the regard that they are, but it's not considered at the state or county level as a legitimate place, a recording tool for recording. So it has to be adopted at the county level where property transfers are actually recorded. And so far, I don't know that there's a single county in the entire United States that is providing an alternative method of recording outside of the more traditional recording method. So that being said, I think it's interesting. Proppy and others are experimenting with it, but I don't believe. By the way, I don't actually think that Proppy specifically. I've heard some stuff sort of background. I don't think that Proppy itself is in a good position politically to be a recording tool for it. And there's
I agree. I actually like IBM Ledger better, but most people have heard of Proppy. So I see it not just as the recording deeds, but also for like a use of SkySlope, having for us to be able to have a mutable chain for our own documents, essentially.
yeah, I think it's interesting. The question is has there ever been, since we've been using SkySlope, .loop, zip forms, etc., has there ever been a case where the data got corrupted in those systems such that they weren't trusted? And so right now I think there's blockchains trying to solve a problem that doesn't quite exist. I think in theory we believe it could exist, that could data get corrupted, could whatever, but in 99.999% of cases there's no issue of trusting SkySlope versus .loop versus zip forms. So I think it's a solution searching for a challenge that doesn't quite exist yet. So it's fun to talk about, but it's not going to move the needle for us as real estate professionals yet.
Gotcha. That answer your question, Jacqueline? Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Glenn. Sasha, wait, real quick. You're next.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Oahu. So I think that's great that we're going to be getting into property management, because I do have another broker in a different company that is not wanting to come to EXP because they do property management, but that's like the only hang up. So that's good. But the question I had is, do you see the Success Lending program coming to Hawaii anytime soon?
I think so. I mean, it's I know Kind Lending already has an office here, which is the sort of the partner joint venture company. So, and Glenn Stearns was here at the event in Maui. But I believe it is on it's on path to come to Hawaii, but I don't know the exact dates along with that.
Okay. All right, just wondering. Thank you.
Gotcha. All right, thank you. Ronnie, go ahead again. You have a question?
2 questions, Glenn. One, referencing back to the property management, a big part of property management in the islands is, of course, short-term rentals, anything less than 6 months, vacation rental management. Is that kind of on your trajectory and something that might be included? And the other question, I'm sure you can probably answer. It's my understanding that when I move my license to EXP, I either need to move it to EXP residential or EXP commercial. Wherever I have it, it's like we're 2 separate brokerages. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So basically, if you're doing some commercial, if you're doing a combination, then you want to hang it with EXP Realty, because you need to be a member of the MLS and you need to be a member of the Association of Realtors. If you're doing commercial exclusively, then you don't have to be a member of NAR. You don't have to be a member of the MLS. Maybe and so you got a lot more flexibility around that because it's typically LoopNet and some of the other commercial exclusive stuff. And so you've got kind of a different piece. And that's I'm speaking more generally, and I don't know how it's done here in Hawaii, but that's when we think about the purely commercial big stuff. It's almost all LoopNet and stuff like that.
Yeah, that answers that question. Thank you for that clarity.
Awesome. All right, Brandy, you had a question.
Yeah, hi. So I have a really quick question about how I know we have iBuyer, we have all of those cash buyer offers. Is there anything in the pipe for doing like a renovation loan to people to update certain areas so that we can get more, do bathrooms, kitchens, and get more bang for their buck when they list it and sell it? Because I know in Hawaii here we have a lot of older houses, and that if they had that extra asset of $75,000 to $100,000 liquid that we could use to renovate, we would actually up the price point by $150,000 so they make more money. Is that ever going to be in the pipeline for us? Because Coldwell does it. That's why I was asking.
So yeah, I'm just doing a quick search, and Curbio. There's something about it. I'm looking at this. I just did a search for Curbio Hawaii. Well, we've got a partnership with Curbio, and they do exactly that. And I'm just not sure if they do it in Hawaii.
They're not here yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not here. We want them to be.
Yeah, I know. That would be such a help to us if we could push that through the pipe. I mean, I think everyone else agrees with me that just doing those few things really just changes the perspective on the properties. So
Is there a way, and this would be a potential business opportunity for maybe some of our icons, influencers, or what have you, to sort of and then find sort of build that kind of an infrastructure for that in various parts of Hawaii?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Glenn. This is Dottie. I had offered to Curbio since I come from a construction background. I used to run a general contracting company doing federal, commercial, and residential, as well as high-end luxury. I had offered if they wanted me to spearhead connecting them with great local contractors here. We've got everything from roofing to electrical to plumbing to, great GCs that do design, build, and renovations. If you want to connect me at the top, I'd love to kind of mastermind that out with them and make it happen. I'm sure there's other, agents here that would also like to contribute to that as well.
Yeah, I'd be willing to help with that as well.
You probably need like 3 different items.
Yeah, I think if you could sort of locally come up with a solution, then we could, we could be a promoter of it. And you probably could just take sort of almost the Curbio agreements, get sort of what that looks like and what they do and how they sort of attach to the property, et cetera, through the sale process. And then, obviously Curbio is doing it as a for-profit business. So it could be a for-profit business, for whoever that, group is here domestically, and then and then EXP. We've got a some sort of, I don't know that we get a lot on it, but we've got some sort of affiliate marketing relationship with Curbio to promote it to EXP agents. We were doing it without the affiliate relationship in the past, but Leo joined and says, "Hey, we're sending you all this business. We should get something for it." So now we get a little bit of something for that. So
Yeah, they're
Thank
awesome.
you.
They've got a lot to offer.
Awesome. Looks like we're gonna make some connections with Curbio Hawaii and EXP. I love it. Jill Lutz, you had a question. Go for it, my dear. You're muted, my dear. I think you're still muted.
I am muted.
Oh, there we
Sorry.
go. All right.
All right. So first, thanks, Glenn, for taking the time with us. Moving away from Hawaii, though, to the Detroit area. We are, a little different here. I'm looking at your T-shirt and just wondering also, how do you see the Zoocasa and everything being integrated into the Detroit area, where I can be at a house in Canada faster than I can be in a house in some of our Detroit neighborhoods. So do you see an integration of that eventually coming to the United States, or where? That's first question. And
yeah,
second,
for sure.
okay. And then my second question would be that looking for those newer agents, because, is running a team, you get all those newer people coming in, newer to the industry. What do you say is the best thing for an agent to take away learning about EXP, or how to kind of to portray themselves, whatever? What is your vision of an agent with an EXP look like?
Okay, well,
right
first,
here. Just kidding.
Right?
yeah,
It is you,
there
Chris.
you
No,
go.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm still on. Go ahead.
So those,
Yeah,
those are my
so Zoocasa, so right now it's expanding across Canada, and it's going to expand in the US. We're already getting them feeds and et cetera, all that stuff. So that's going to build out as a national portal. They've got, iPhone and Android apps and the whole 9 yards from a consumer experience. So they've actually built out a really good consumer experience. And then we've got some stuff we're going to be announcing by shareholders around some really cool things that we're going to be doing for exprealty.com for a lead gen piece. And then the follow-on question was relative to agents at EXP. What
yeah, kind of like, what is your vision? What do they look like to you? How are they putting themselves out in the community?
Yeah, so I had this conversation yesterday with agents in Australia, and I think this really epitomizes the best agents at EXP. The best agents are agents who are enhancing agents' lives, whether they're at EXP or not. Meaning that when agents are looking to, when they're wondering what to do, how to build their business, how to build relationships, how to go get more customers, how to do stuff, that they naturally think of an EXP agent as somebody they might call or ask a question of. And so it's like, how are we always of service to other agents in the marketplace? Well, one is, EXP naturally allows us to monetize becoming better people. And so if we think about the idea that, we're a personal development company that just happens to sell real estate, and to the extent that we are better human beings and that people want to be around, the more we work on being better human beings, the more people want to be in business with us. And so I think about this whole idea that, everybody's in a different place in the journey. Some people are just beginning it. Some people, by the way, may be coming from other brokerages, and they really aren't, they may have quote unquote experience in selling, but they haven't developed the experience of being a better human being. And I think that, the idea that they're there to help other people that becomes the attractor. The book I'm reading right now is Winning on Purpose by Fred Reichheld. I highly recommend that every agent read it. And it's from the perspective of running a company as opposed to thinking about it from an agent perspective. But if you think about it from the perspective of each one of you is running a mini brokerage inside the brokerage, then it gives you a lens on how you can use the golden rule as a guiding post to actually grow your revenue share organization, but then also gives you more ideas to share with people who are looking to grow their part of the business. And so at the end of the day, agents want to figure out, how do I put food on the table and a roof over my head? That's the first sort of, hierarchy, or the Maslow's, hierarchy of needs in real estate. But eventually they need to figure out how to be better human beings, because that ultimately is the true leverage in any business, is just being a good human being.
And that's why I love EXP. Come on.
Right?
Come
Exactly.
on.
Thank you.
Who talks about that at brokerage, that we just want to make a planet of better human beings? I think you need to be president, Glenn Sanford. I mean, you're much better than the guy we have in place. No judgment there, everybody. That's like a free speech. I'm just saying.
I was born in Canada, so I can't run. I'm sorry.
Hey, Obama said, just never mind. Okay. All right. That was a good response. Thank you very much. I love that, though. Just being good freaking human beings. That's what this planet needs. I think, Sasha, you had your hand up again, and Ross says, so go ahead, Sasha, real quick again. No, you good? Okay. Ross, go for it, my friend.
Heck yeah. Hey, Glenn, thanks so much for taking the time to jump on with us. Just out of curiosity, maybe this is a different question if you would, but, you've built this great platform, the community's strong, everything's going right. You disrupted the industry. What fires you up today about the future for EXP, and like what gets you excited about EXP right now?
I mentioned this at the Maui event, but I'm actually happy we finally have competitors in the space.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, we were competing against dinosaurs trying to be better dinosaurs, and the bar was not set very high in terms of our need to actually be agent centric. And so obviously we invented an entirely new category of real estate brokerage. And for me, what gets me excited is to truly not just double down, but be 100% committed to enhancing the lives of agents. And which means that a bunch of the stuff we did over the last number of years, when we were only competing against dinosaurs, we didn't actually understand that some of that stuff probably wasn't fully in the best interest of the agents that we're trying to serve. They were in our best interest as a company, because we needed to manage this growth and this crazy stuff, and there's lots of stuff we had to deal with to sort of deal with the growth cycle of the company. But without contrast, nothing's revealed without contrast. Without sort of the contrast of a new breed of competitor, we weren't doing much on the innovation front. So now I get excited about the next innovations, the next things, like the stuff we're going to roll out at shareholders. And I kind of teased it out that we're going to make some announcements in February, that we're going to be and we're going, okay, do we want to do that? We're actually working on getting a patent on something that I've kind of played out as game, set, match for the industry. And I truly believe that will be the case, but we also can't take our eye off the ball, that we can have the best technology on the planet, but if we're missing the agent centricity portion of it, then it doesn't really matter. So we kind of need to do both. But it's how do we make sure that the stuff we're doing doesn't create unintended pain in service of trying to manage the company in a way that doesn't align with agents. So I'm in there. My boards are around how do we make for icons, how do we make the cultural piece much easier to understand and achieve the cultural elements of the company? So there's a $4,000 award that comes with that. How do we help agents achieve icon easier? So it actually, agents like sending out external referrals because they pay a full cap fee on an external referral versus an internal referral they don't pay a full cap fee on. But we're trying to figure out, and it's ironic because agents are actually wanting to give us more money so they can achieve icon faster. So we're trying to figure out like little things. On the onboarding thing, we had a conversation earlier today. Like, how do we give a sponsor a checklist to use? And maybe we do some of this and already, but how do we give them a checklist so that the agent that's coming in, they go through a series of basic things that so that the agent that's being brought in is truly plugged into EXP. We onboard 3,000 agents a month approximately. You think about that, that's a crazy number. Now with the downturn, we've had some more exits because there's a lot of agents that have left the business, but it's nice that we're hearing that the housing market's actually picking up, because I think that then plays into sort of the plus side of the equation. But there needs to be more sort of support of the agent going through. So we're looking at everything from exclusive tools, systems, to how we're operating from a policies and procedures perspective to make it more agent friendly, and then also trying to figure out how do we engage agents in the process as well. So there's just a lot of things that I'm excited about, and then these conversations are super important to me as well. So I've been, as Chris probably can tell you, because I think he's probably been around some of it, he knows I'm doing lots of these conversations with lots of different groups right now. And for me, that gets me pretty jacked as well.
Glenn, there's a number of people in our, the big groups, some of the people that you heard speak at the mastermind, that have built these pretty sophisticated onboarding, tools, some using Kajabi and systems that check if the agents have gone through the things you want to onboard them. Have you been kind of masterminding with any of those people to see what the best practices of some of the, the groups that aren't as big as 89,000 agents? Yeah.
I haven't. I'd love to get, well, I know that there are teams for sure that have their own onboarding sort of almost staff inside of their group. And some of it was done out of necessity because, company was growing so fast that they needed to handhold people through. At one point, it took a month to onboard. I don't know, Chris, you might have been around at that time.
Yep.
And now we've got it down to, I think the average is under, it's getting a lot faster. I think 48 minutes is a typical time frame now for if somebody just sits there and kind of knocks it all out. But we're even taking things like the video for TCPA and other things. There's a 19-minute video that people have to watch. So we're actually taking that out of the onboarding process and actually putting it into before you get your first commission check or before you get your first revenue share check. Then you go through that. Figure that's probably a better place to put it because you can figure out some place to do 19 minutes to get paid, but to get onboarded, not so much. So anyway, those are.
Yeah, that's true. Time efficiency there.
That's
Awesome.
fantastic.
Doug Seeley, go for it, my friend. You're muted, my friend. You're still muted.
Still muted? Come on.
There we go.
How about now?
There we go.
Got me?
There we go.
Thanks, Glenn, for taking the time. I definitely appreciate that. I think everybody does, of course. But when I first came on board, I think it was like 2019, I thought I remembered that you guys acquired a company that kind of set up the website for Zillow. And so was that true? Because I guess one of the things that I had heard is that they were, obviously the ideal thing would be to create this website that could compete with Zillow on the grand level. And the better way to do it is to own the company that kind of designed theirs. Was there any truth to that? Or is that something I just kind of heard from?
No, that's the first time I've ever heard that
okay.
story or rumor.
Okay, cool. That's what I was curious about because I was always wondering if there was going to be like a big lead gen type of competitor that we were going to create, to battle with Zillow. So that's why, that's
Well,
why I
we
was
are.
asking
So
that question.
Zoocasa is actually Zoocasa is actually part of that, and then that's actually part of the reason why we're kind of taking a bet on Realty.com a bit, because I think the idea is that the more we can kind of create exclusive to EXP lead gen platforms, even if agents have to pay for them, that it allows us again to be able to have a conversation with consumers about the fact that, hey, we're on this platform. You can be on Zillow. We'll get you there because obviously, but we can also get you all these other places that agents of other firms can't get you on.
Yeah, which is awesome. And then just to kind of give you a pat on the back, I was a balloon guy for I think 2 decades and was actually in charge of development director for Metro Detroit. And so when you made the comment about dinosaurs, that's where I, just kind of made me feel good inside. That was one of my biggest reasons for leaving is, I don't know if it's arrogance, but just the belief that, hey, here's who we are and no one's ever going to knock us off the top. And then that resistance to change, I kind of felt like I was sitting with an organization that was getting further and further behind and was eventually going to get knocked off by EXP, which is one of my biggest motivators to jump was you guys just constantly evolving. So, kudos to you and your staff and your organization. I just love it. Super happy. So thanks a lot.
You're referring to the Remax balloon, right? Not the one that was China's balloon. It was the Remax balloon. All right.
Hear me?
Yeah. Here we go. Sorry. Just got to make sure we clarify what balloon we're talking about, Doug.
Yep. Absolutely.
I know Glenn's freezing up a little bit there. He might be at the hotel.
Sure.
Anyways, there we go. You're back. I think you're in between, kind of technology at its finest. Real quick then, before I guess Ross, you have your hand up again, and Brandy, you guys still have your hand up, Ross? We had a couple minutes first, a couple more questions.
That was on accident there, Chris.
Oh, okay,
Sorry about
awesome. Brandy, did you have another question?
I do. I know that we're huge on attraction and recruiting, but I'm seeing this complication because I'm a mentor and my mentees come in, recruited heavily, they're added on, and then their sponsor ghosts them. So then they join under my team and then I get no revenue share. I get nothing to do with that, which is totally fine. But there's got to be some kind of accountability, I feel like, for them, that you shouldn't just be fully recruiting to build up your downline and then expect someone else to take care of them. Is there any way we can start looking into how to remedy that? Because it has consistently been with my last 5 mentees. They literally got heavily recruited, got signed on, and then ghosted. And that's just not fair. That gives a bad taste in the mouth for EXP because they came on thinking they were going to get all this guidance and the support. And I understand we have the online ones. I totally get that we have that beautiful, wonderful everyday 20 classes, but some people are just more hands-on. So how do we address that? How do we fix that? Or how do we hold people accountable for just not recruiting to fill up their downline?
Did you get that, Glenn? I don't know. He's kind of freezing up a little bit. I think he might be having.
Oh, no.
My internet was.
Let's see. Hopefully he can come back. Come on.
My Wi-Fi connections.
Really bad. Let's see here. Oh, this would be a good one too.
Okay. Am I back?
Yeah, there you go. You're back.
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that question,
awesome.
Brandy?
I heard something. Can you do it one more time?
Of course. So I'm a mentee or a mentor, and I bring in mentees, and the last 5 that I've gotten people have just heavily recruited them. They've added them to their downline. Downline, I know is the wrong word, sorry. And then kind of just ghost them. So then they sign on to my team. So I help them grow and everything, but I don't get any of the benefit of that. It's literally they're only here to recruit it, and it puts a really bad taste in those people's mouth about how EXP is. They treat it like we're like a used car salesman. Then let's just add people to our downline and then not take care of them. So is there any kind of like ramifications for that?
So
or is there a way?
Uh-oh, froze again. It's the Chinese balloon. I think it is.
It's too tough a question, Brandy.
Yeah, it's a loaded one.
Okay.
It's a loaded one, Glenn. There we go.
It's a fantastic question.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
Oh darn! Must be the Sheraton Hotel.
You guys can hear me now.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the reasons why I think the sponsor checklist is going to be a key one, which is that the sponsor actually has to go through a number of things with their person they bring on. And if they're not going through that process with them to bring them on, plug them in, then maybe there's something we can do on the back side. Like if they don't go through the checklist, then the agent that they're attracting, if they say, hey, I'm not getting support, maybe that's a trigger for them to be able to change groups if they haven't done, sort of the checklist piece with the agent that they brought on. So that might be a way to think about it. Any quick feedback on that?
That's actually a great idea.
I love taking on new agents, and I love mentoring, and I love that part of it. I just find it extremely disappointing. So if there's some way I can hold their sponsor accountable for getting them like just the basics, even like some of them don't even like, they literally sign them on and then they're like, I got an email, and now every time I reach out to them, they're working a full-time job or whatever. So if there's some kind of accountability, and I have no problem holding someone accountable, like, hey, you need to do this, you guaranteed you would, and if they say that, well, they're too busy or something, then you shouldn't be sponsoring people. That's how I feel about it, because that's irresponsible.
That is super
think?
common. Like that's super, super common, Brandy. This is an excellent idea, Glenn.
Yeah. I think the checks and balances is a great idea, but I think it needs to be something more than just at one point. I think it needs to be like ongoing, like it needs to be monitored, where if that sponsor does show up, great, but they can show up for like 20 minutes and then like 2 days later or 2 weeks later or 2 months later, completely ghost that person. And again, I know it's not the entire job for a sponsor to be there like forever, but there's got to be some level though where they help them, if they're bringing them on, have some skin in the game with them so that they do give them that guidance initially. And that sponsor needs to be held accountable. And if they're not, then then find other alternatives that they can make deviations and maybe check it. Because right now, currently, you got to leave for 6 months and then come back before you can rename your sponsor. So I don't know, maybe that's something you guys can incorporate differently. I don't know.
That's also a complication.
Well, I might have a suggestion. I was one of the lucky ones where my sponsor actually became my mentor. Like I requested from my sponsor to be my mentor. Now, if you were to sponsor people and then mentor them, it kind of becomes like hand in hand, and you have to be accountable for the people you bring in by also mentoring them. Just an idea.
So making everybody
right, some level of mentorship. It may not be full mentorship, but some level of connection, mentorship, plug-in, etc.
Yeah. Just some accountability. That's all I'm asking, is because literally my last 5, this has been like and they feel disheartened and they feel sad about it because they thought this person had them hyped up, was trying to build this relationship with them, and then just gone. And that is not the reputation I want for my team, and it's not the reputation I want for my company. So just a thought.
Right. Okay. No, it's a great thought.
It's almost like responsible recruiting, right? Like I've already learned that I'm probably not the great mentor. So I'm like, so the only people I actually talk to are experienced people. So it's almost like you need to have a person that like know your weakness and know your strengths, right? If you're not going to be bringing the person along as being new, then you probably, you might not want to be recruiting brand new people and pushing them off on everybody else. I mean, it limits your recruiting ability, right? But at least you know that you're doing the right thing, essentially, in my opinion.
Right.
Purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
I've got to jump to another.
hard 12.
Jump to another call here. So
I
appreciate you, Glenn. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming on and taking your time to share with us. We look forward to what EXP is going to be coming on here in the next future. Everybody.
Thanks,
okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so
Everybody.
much.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Glenn.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Another is amazing. I don't know if I could top that one, though. I might have to bring on like the President of the United States next time. I have no idea. I'm working on that, but I keep upping the game stake. I might be shooting myself in the foot, but I don't know. Maybe Kanye West. I don't know. Somebody y'all want, let me know. Okay, yeah, Kirsten, no comment. But you know what? Here's another thing. Feedback is great. If you guys have some people ideally that you'd love to hear some conversation, again, I know I'm kind of just bringing this to the table. Shoot me something. Hey, I'd love to hear about this. Love to hear about that. Because more often than not, if there's some subject that you want to talk about, I almost promise you I know somebody within our organization that's doing a very high level that I can bring on the call. So your feedback is amazing, right? I need that too. But I will continue to bring on this amazing talent for you guys as much as I can and keep entertaining you guys. And I look forward to your guys' growth. Excited for what we're going to do this week. Tiara, you had something you want to say?
Yeah, the Curbio thing. If anyone here wants to shoot me an email, so I have your information. There was a few of you chiming in that you want to help bring that here. Yeah, Brandy, email
Yeah, you know I'm
me.
down, girl.
Yeah, email me or workplace me, Tiari Lando. On IG, it's Legacy Living Now. But they can do it from what I know, but they just haven't like connected the dots. So let's connect the dots for them and make it happen. We need to compete with the other companies that are offering this service. Compass and Coldwell Banker offer this service. We need this here in Hawaii like yesterday. So let's, Chris, if you can help connect us at the top, we would really appreciate that. Let's make it
Absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know
Y'all
we'll work it. We'll get it here.
you guys put it
Yes.
together. You guys
Okay.
put it together and whoever you need. I mean, if you need Jason Guessing, if you need Glenn, absolutely.
Thank you.
guys we'll wait the connection.
Tiara,
Yes.
did you
Hi, Ronnie.
hey, how are you? Did you connect with those ROI experts in yeah. So I'm wondering if that it's a vehicle. So someone that spoke like a motivational speaker, he had set up a business that's wanting to compete with BNI, which is a longstanding networking group, but it's specifically for realtors.
Yeah, I joined that.
And it's kind of so I think that that might be, if you're going to do that or build that, like if you had one person on each island, that could be and then we could go to Curbio and say, well, we've got these groups on each island and here's the network of people.
That's
What do you think?
awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. That's why I joined it, because I was like, all right, let's get this done, right? Because that's my biggest pet peeve, besides not having good mentee. Like,
Brandy, where are you? Where are
I'm
you,
on
Brandy?
Oahu.
Oh, okay. What's your last name?
But I'll be on Kauai Friday to set up some more teammates.
Y'all need to get some coffee then.
There we go. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thanks, Leah. Good seeing you, Leah.
Thanks, Chris.
Y'all
This
have
was
a nice day.
awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Love you guys. Keep it on. All right, guys. Bye.
Right.